Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. I'm Laz, your host behind the camera. I have got new glasses on today, so good morning. And we do have the actual issue. There's no missing one this time, which is excellent. But I do have to wait till my phone decides it wants to let me know that I'm going live on both Partrol and everything else. There we go. Oh. I only got one email this time, which means I've got to go check through YouTube. Unless that's the second one. That's the second one. There we go. So I can now come and join you in portrait mode, which is nice, because it doesn't always show me up there and it doesn't bring the chat up as general, so I have to go look at it separately. Which means I've got to turn my volume down, otherwise I end up echoing. There we go. So if anyone comes to join in portrait mode, I will be able to see you and respond to your comments as well as everybody else's. Pardon me. So I was going to give it a second because I've not been up long, and not only have I gone to get the magazine, I've been to get my glasses sorted, so I've not had a chance for a cup of tea or anything this morning. I've just had a little bit of a drink. Oh, that feels so much better. Right. Make sure the chats are all saying what they should be, which they are, which is good. And this morning we have issue 55 of Combat Patrol, which is the Hernkyn Pioneers Part 1. Now we've got two sprues, and they look pretty much like the same sprue. So I think, looking at this, I think we might have just got these two, and then we'll get the big rotary gun one next time. So that should be good. I might actually be able to put two models together now. So in this issue, we get obviously part one of the Hernkyn Pioneers, which are the biker guys. Then we're going to learn about kin society, and then we're going to learn about orc clans. Hey, I like orc clans, and I don't know much about the kin society, so both of them are pretty good. But the first page inside gives us a proper idea of what we're going to be doing. So we have build, read, collect, which is just telling us about the models we're getting today, and then play, which is going to have Chaos Space Marines, Tyranids, Chaos Space Marines versus Space Marines, then Tyranids versus Chaos Space Marines, and Eldari versus Chaos Space Marines. So Chaos Marines, if Chaos Marines win all them, they win their campaign. Good luck to the Chaos Space Marines, which I can't play because all mine are world leaders now. Yay. So let's start with how to build. How do we build these things? Right, so this section here, which is telling us is parts 3 and 4 go together, and then it goes in the middle of 1 and 2. We should have this 3 times, so it should be on both of those. So that entire section should be done multiple times. We'll be getting another one on the next sprue. In fact, a lot of them will be. Now it goes in to tell us how to make the big one. I'm not sure how much of that we've got. And then it runs us through the 2 little ones as well. Now those are the ones I think we've got today, but I'm not 100% sure. Good morning, Steve. Good morning. Are you alright being up this early? I'm not saying you can't be, I'm just wondering if you are up this early. I think these are SDF. Oh, this is getting weird. I'm supposed to be able to read with these glasses on, but for some reason it just ain't bloody letting me. And I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that says SDF though. Morning, dude. You made another episode. Nice one. And you'll be popping in and out, doing dishes, hoovering and general stuff. The joys of living in... Yeah, well, there are joys of living in a caravan. There are many joys of living in a caravan. You don't have stairs for a start. That's a bloody good one. The stairs are annoying. So let's go through this and see what we can get together. I'm hoping we can at least get 2 models together. Okay, what... Europe at this time every day. No, thank you. We're up at 5 or 6 every day. That's even worse. No, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, it did me in today getting up for 9. I'm still paying for it now. So what do we start with? We start with numbers 3 and 4, which are down here next to these wheel things. And I found me half decent snippers because I can't find me good ones. And I'm not paying for a pair of God Hand. Those are just... I don't care how good a pair of snips are. I am not paying that much for them. And that was a reasonably clean snip as well, which is nice. That's very nice. And then we need to glue these together. Of course we need to glue these together. The two tiny little pieces. 2 diddy little bloody nubs. And it has got 2 little nubs on it, so that's where I'm going to glue. And then make sure we get them the right way around. And the nubs press on like so. And you end up with a little ball joint. I want us to do that 3 times, so we'll do it twice because we don't have the 3rd sprue. It's always good not having everything. Having to wait till next week now. Now, if I end up putting all these together and it doesn't turn up next week, I am going to be plenty pissed. As you can understand, I've already missed 2 issues, one of them being the friggin' Wraith Lord, and the other one being the first half of the main unit, just the battle line unit for the Votan. Whether or not I pick up that unit separately in the future, I don't know. I don't know if I will or not, but hey ho. Good morning, Twisted. Good morning. And it is extreme early morning for you. Well, Chester's not happy today. He's not happy. So next we want parts 1 and 2, which are the main body of the bike there and there. So next we'll clip out them. Snippety. Snippety. Pop. Come out. There you go. There's 1. Actually, that was number 2. Oh, snippety. Snippety. Pop. Come out. Boom. There we go. So going off this, we will need one of those little balls. And they go in... They get put into this very front nodule little bit there, and it should dry fit quite well. Unless you do what I've just done, which is apply too much pressure, and now the bit that you're trying to put in has snapped. Well, not snapped, but come apart. And why is that not going in? Like, oh, because I'm putting it upside down, that's why, you absolute moron. Okie dokie. So that's the way around it's supposed to go. Pain had you up at 1 AM, Twisted. That is not good. Have you taken the appropriate painkillers? We both know what that means. In fact, I think most of the people who watch my stream have now figured out what that means. Usually means a nice bubbly breakfast. And you can't go wrong with a nice bubbly breakfast. Good morning, Dave. How old do you have to be to stop making plastic models? It's not necessarily an age thing, it's more of a whether or not you're in the ground thing, I think. For me it is anyway. I'm 41 and I'm still making plastic models. And yeah, I'm still making plastic models at this age. You don't get to grow out of it, I'm afraid. Once you become a plastic crack addict, you're kind of stuck for life unless you have extreme willpower. And then you've got to try and figure out how you're going to sell it all, because you've just spent an absolute fortune on these little plastic things. And you're not going to get anywhere near that money back unless they're extremely well painted. In my case, they are not. Yep, that's when you stop. You stop putting together and you stop painting once you're 6 feet under. At least that's my idea anyway. Some people will disagree and they're allowed to. Just for anyone who is on the portrait mode, if you wish to pop over to the vertical, not the vertical, the horizontal, not only do you get to see more of my messy desk, but I get to see your comments quicker and I can respond to them easier. Good morning, Graham. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Don't ask me why I did it like that. I don't know. I don't know either. It's the honest answer. I know we have to start singing at Twisted soon. Me and Ali have already started in the Discord. Again, for anyone who wishes to, please feel free to join the Discord. Because Twisted wanted to do something. Ruby, 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 Ruby. Ah. Do you? See, gotta start singing that to Twisted until he's pasted that ruby in the center chest. It's the only way he's gonna get away from it. He's gotta paint that ruby. And then we'll stop singing that song at him. So how is everybody today? Now that we have people in that I can ask that question to. How are we all doing? You alright? You're not too good. I know Twisted hasn't had a great night so far, which is not nice and not good. But there's very little I can do apart from ask him to do the appropriate painkiller sections that I know he's already well on the way to doing. So, what part comes next? If I'm looking at this, and I am, it says I've got to do 5, 6 and 11. Now 5 and 6 look like two really tiny little... Oh wow, have you seen them? Look at them. Look at them. That's 5 and 6. That's my pinky finger. Covers it completely. Bloody hell. And they go in where? In fact, they go in the two little side nubs here. There's two little dots. Can you see the dark speck? That's where they go. Found them. Just got to try not to drop the bloody things. Took me months to find that arc like, and now I can't find the arc to go with the arc like. You're on. See, told you, he's on it. He's on it. The man knows. The man knows. He's on it like a car bonnet. So we need to put these in. Tiny spot of glue in there. Then get one of them. and push it in like so, so that the grippy bits are on top, where your feet would grip. You don't want the slippy bits on the bottom. You don't want no little kin flying off halfway down. So you get the grippy things on top. And there we go. We have the feety bit. On top of that, it also wants us to put number 11. And number 11 is this one here. It's the front mining type light thing. Or headlight, or... It looks like a mining light to me, but it's supposed to be a headlight. Don't ask how. And then this has got a little... I don't know if you're going to be able to see it if I bring it up that close. No. Right, let's see if we can get it here. Somewhere. No. Now, in that section right in here, there is a little square. So far, they're not being the easiest twisted. They are not being the easiest. But, yeah. They're going together at the minute. So, it's telling me to put the glue all over the front of the model. I'm going to put it in the little square bit where it's kind of sliding. Then it should go over there. Like that. And then we have the startings of what looks to be a motorcycle. Then we want 13 and 12. Now it would make sense to have these on the same sprue, wouldn't it? But there's 1, 12 and 13, so I know what they look like now. I have another 11 and I have another 12 and 13. Excellent. So we take 12 off and we take 13 off. All fun and games, all fun and games. Well, hopefully this will give you enough motivation, Twisted, to go, well, it's not that bad. I could do that. Laz has done it. Why not? So they go that way around. So 12 makes up the other half of that side, and then 30. Right, now I get it. I was wondering how it was going to go on, because one side looks like it's got a bit missing. And it looks like it should have come on this next section. McD, if you could pass that over to Twisted, please, just to get him started for the day. I'll forgo my pass this time. As much as I would like it right now, I will forgo it, because Twisted needs it more. And my hands are a little bit busy, which doesn't entirely help. Good morning, Buzzard. Wow, I'm getting everybody in. I am getting everybody in. And I'm getting everybody in on everything. Mick T as my moderator over on the portrait mode. Do I have a moderator on the horizontal? I suppose it's me, isn't it? Right. So there's the first part of bike 1 done. Go through the same sections again. I want a part 11 and a part 12 and a part 13 and a 5 and a 6. Oh, where are the... I've got to look for 5 and 6s again. There's a 5 and a 6. We're doing well so far, seeing as we've not got the full kit. We are missing one sprue. We'll see how far we get before I go, for crying out loud, where is the other bits? But we'll see how far we get before that happens. Which is Yeah, little nubbly bit in there. These glasses are making a difference, you know. You've been to the dispensary recently. You have dispensaries. Ours are just drug dealers. Good morning, Ali. Good morning. I seem to have all my moderators now are in the portrait mode. Which is actually quite a good thing, because that seems to be where, if any trouble's gonna happen or anyone's gonna pop in to be a pain, they seem to enjoy portrait mode. So the fact that I've now got 3 moderators all stacked up ready to just boot them out is a nice thing. Now don't forget, moderators, if somebody does come in and start saying silly things, you have to berate them and make fun of them before you kick them out. Yes, I have new spectacles. These are my up close ones. Obviously, why I'm using them now. And poor woman in the shop. I knows what I likes and I likes what I know. So when it comes to buying frames, I pick a single form of frames, and I want them, whether I get 2 pairs or 1. It's okay, Ali. It's okay. You're not late. You've arrived fashionably. The only person who can be late really is me. And that's, well, I set the time. So if I'm late, then something's probably happened, or I've just got distracted. You know what I'm like when I get distracted. It just goes and disappears, and whatever was in my head's gone then. Until about half an hour later, when I realised, oh crap, I should have done X, Y, Z. That's gone. Right, now 12 and 13s are on this one, I think. I'm going to have to look again, aren't I? No, 12 and 13 are on this one. There they are. I found them. No, I see. I can't wear the round ones. The round ones don't suit me. So that's the only reason I get these ones, because these are the ones that suit me. And it's the same pair every time for that reason. Round ones don't go well on my face. I don't know why. So I'm never going to be able to get a pair of big aviators or anything like that, or Ray-Ban big flying glass. Nope, none of that. Not for me. Does not work. So rinse and repeat from the last ones. Blubber glue there, blubber glue there. Get this one and pop it in. And then other side is along there and a little spot in there. So along that section and a little spot there in the front. And that's where this one goes. And now we have 2 of those little baggy things. So we can flip the page. So we've done this section twice now to end up with 2 of these. Now we flip over and see what he wants us to do next. Pardon me. Okay, so for part 2, again, he wants us to rinse and repeat. He wants us to get part number 15, which goes in the gun slot, which is just off centre. Part 15 goes in here. Who is... Oh, that's Steve, right. Oh, Steve, doing that's just... Between you, Mick and Twisted, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm not complaining, it's just stating the fact that between you three, I'm going to lose my mind this morning. Because you're all talking about things that I don't have, what I would like. So where's 14? Where's 14 on all this? Because that's 15, I can see that. And then we need an 18 and a 16, which are there, and a 7. What on earth is a 17? 17. Well, there's a 14. I found a 14. That's a good start. We'll do that one. Just because we've found one, so we can make sure we can get that. There's a 14. Then we want a 16 and an 18, which glued together to make the front hover pad thing. So there is a 16, and there is the 18. I've got to remember that not all of these are going to be labelled right, as we found out from the previous issues. Right, so 14 goes on here, alongside where the gun barrel's going to go. Now this is a stupidly small piece that will just about fit there. So you see this little barrel section, which is not helping much. There we go, there's a little barrel section there now. That is another tiny little piece. Not as small as the bloody feet for them, but small enough. Then we have 3 little dimples on here and 3 little divots on this. So that kind of makes it simple where that's supposed to go. Line up the dimples with the divots. So put a little spot in the dimples, and then try and line it up with the divots, so it doesn't twist or shake or do anything like that. Thank you very much, Ali. Yes, I've got to remember we are on YouTube, and YouTube does things like asks you to click things and gives you buttons to press and all sorts of wonderful stuff like that. So please feel free to click all them. It's a 17 I'm looking for, isn't it? 17 looks like a very, very small pair of lights. And I mean a ridiculously small pair of lights. Have an axe. Not quite what I want. It isn't. It's not quite what I want. And these glasses are supposed to make it easier to see. And then, well, they are, but still not making it easier to find what I need on here. Please don't tell me all the 17s are going to be on the 3rd sprue. That's just not going to be funny. See, I've got 2 14s. I've got 2 18s, I've got 2 16s, I've got 2 15s. Can I find a friggin' 17? No. Yes, Francois, this time we have got Hernkyn Pioneers, so we've got the bikey ones. 2 out of 3. Of course, they don't give us the full bloody one. And these don't seem to have a 17 on them anywhere. That's just friggin' frustrating, that. That is just really frustrating. Now, it's not too big of a deal because it is only a little light to go in the front. So it shouldn't make that much of a difference when it comes to putting these together. Now, do we have 21s? 19, 20, 23, 24. Yeah, we do have two 21s. We have four 21s. That is good. I found the 17s. I found them. They are the tiniest little bit right there. Tiny little bit. Holy jeez, that is just minute. That's like, I can barely even hold that. I don't even know how I'm going to glue it into position. I genuinely don't know how I'm going to glue this into position. Right, put you there for a second. Now, it does have a divot for it to go on. Or a little peg thing. So it should, if I can pick it up correctly. Yeah, if being the key word. If I can pick it up correctly, it goes in like that. That looks like a Tau drone. That does. It is a shame you can't hype live streams. You can hype them after the fact, but you can't hype them before. I know, it sucketh. It sucketh an almighty amount. But if I ever actually get up to 500 subscribers and can clock in the correct amount of hours, that's when things start becoming more interactive for everybody in the chat room. Granted, I've been doing this for 4 years and I've only just reached over 200 subscribers, so I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. So don't panic. But yeah, the 500 sub mark is when things start becoming a little bit more interesting in regards to what you can all do in the middle of my streams. I trust you all not to go too doolally with it, but then again, you might just get one of them days where you decide, nah, fuck it, I'm going to go wind him up. At that point, there's not much I can do. Okay, so if we follow that section as it says, putting 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 together, it now has a front hover wheelie thing with a tiny little light there and a barrel for the gun which pops out there, see? So, yeah, squats. Let's do it. We need the front panel, the front wheel. Wheel? It's a hover bike for... Laz, what are you talking about? It's a hover bike. It's a hover bike. It's not a wheel. Might be circular, but it is certainly not a wheel. Don't ask me why I put the H in it. I just did. Because I'm odd. Your notifications about working, Ali. That is a good sign. That is a good sign. It also means that I believe some people have just had a notification when they're trying to sleep. I hope they put the phones on silent. I really do hope they put the phones on silent for that reason. I don't want to wake people up. I don't think I'm that important that I warrant waking people up to go, come look at me. No. No. That is not how this works. If I'm live and you're available, by all means come in, but I ain't gonna pester you to come in. You will have things you have to do of your own. People have lives. Thank you very much, Ali. You seem to know my schedule better than I do. I'm not sure if I should be worried or flattered. I'm going to go with flattered because you've not tried stalking me, so. Well, I say you've not tried stalking to me. You're one of the few people who can contact me on various different platforms and literally reach out and ask me a question whether I'm in the house at my PC or not. You are one of those few. But I don't classify that as stalking, don't worry. And all that was up and available before you actually realised I was streaming, so. We're good. I can't remember which one had the 14 on it though. That one did. That one had the 14, it's right there. So I do hope everyone's having a good day today. Good morning or a good afternoon or whatever time of the day it is. I hope it's going alright. Well, how does this go on again? Oh yes, I remember. It's the awkward one. You got to put a bit of glue there and then place it on the side because it is a very specific groove that it has to go into. But once it's in there, it's pretty much set. You're alright once it's done. Pop a spot of glue into that one. And then put the front hover plate on. And now it is just the gun. More blood clot on Discord. I shall check that out after I've finished doing this, because I get distracted if I don't. You know this. If I start going through Discord now, I'll forget where I'm up to on the model. So I want to get at least this bit finished before I move on to go seeing more works in progress. We'll get to it though. Don't worry. We will get to it. I'll try and figure out how I managed to get it up on screen. Oh, it's the window capture one. It automatically defaults to Discord. I remember now. Yes, it hurt. Before anyone asked, did it remembering hurts? Yes, it did. So now we have two bags with a front hover plate, a gun, and lights and gun barrels. Two, yay. Take a very brief moment to go and have a look at the work in progress. And that is a rather pretty little. Do it ever do that? There we go. Let me just move this over onto the portrait one. That is Twisty's Blood Claw that he's currently working on and very nearly finished. That is a nice looking model. I'm not going to deny. I can't do a model like that. No. Beautiful looking model though. Very beautiful looking model. See, I can see it even better now. It's on my phone. It's weird because of YouTube having a delay. I can do something on the screen and then I get to watch it afterwards on my phone. Right, where are we up to next? We're up to 7 and 9. So 7's that one, 9's that one, and 8's that one, and 10. So that. Just once I wish to make this simple. Just once. Have it all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yo, Francois. And I believe Ali is already putting you up on the links. Ali's telling people to go check you out there, Twisted. And damn, Ali's on the ball today. Ali is on the ball. It's doing better than I am. Right. So now we have a 7 and a 9. So how on earth are these 7 and this 9? So if we get the 7 like so, and the 9's supposed to go on like this. Ah, the 9's supposed to go on like that. Right. Okay. So remember that, because it's the... My mic is giving feedback. My mic should not, unless... The only thing that I can think of that my mic might be giving feedback is if my headphones are turned up. Ah, get off. Get off. No, my headphones are turned down. I shouldn't be getting feedback. Is that turned down? Yep, no, that's turned down. I shouldn't be. There's no other noise going on around me. Apart from noise that I'm making. I've muted every form of audio device that I have. So that it doesn't get picked up by the microphone. Because it is sensitive enough to pick it up. In fairness. It is... Well, with it being that far away from my mouth. Not that far. It's really like... yeah, that far. So about 6-7 inches away from my mouth. And there really should not be any feedback. I mean, it might be clipping. Clipping is a good possibility. Which means I'm pushing up through the red. And it's getting to the part where it goes, no, too much. And the gate shuts it down. But keeps me at a relatively decent level. That's the dishes done. Ooh, so you're planting today. Planting tatties. I say homegrown tatties are good. Homegrown tatties are good. No, it's as big as the shop bought ones. But always full of flavour. I've not had homegrown tatties for years. And again, I've not had tatties properly for years either, so. And people wonder, what's a tatty? It's a tater. A potato. So now we have the two back bits that need the other hover pads. The other hover pads. Now these ones are the ones with even smaller lights on with 21s, which are these. I mean, they don't even look like they're supposed to be clipped off the bloody sprue. They're that small. And in fairness, if it wasn't for my new glasses, I don't think I would have found them. I'm attributing this entirely to my new glasses. Be able to find the most ridiculously small fiddly bits that I've ever had the pleasure of clipping out on a Games Workshop sprue. Which is saying a lot when I've clipped out the grenades and hands and all sorts of little stupid things like bullet chains and other things for orcs and space marines. But the Votan, no, the Votan have taken this up to a whole new level. Oh, they don't want us to put them bits on yet. Right, leave them bits over there. And leave the 25 on the sprue, because that's got a little... See, 25's got a little nubby bit in it, so I'm guessing that this is where it's going to connect. It's buzzing. I think I have an idea how to turn that. If I do that, that should... minus 4 decibels? Minus 4 decibels should do it. It should stop me from clipping, which will be the main problem for this. Clip, 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 clip. So these want to go that way around. Okay. But I want to do 21 first. Which I did find one set of them, and I found 2 sets of them. Right, so it's this set I want to do first. Come on, lads, don't drop these, don't drop them. A spud is another name for a tater, or a tatty. Again, this is my being up in Scotland for a little while has played off on my accent. Much to everybody else in my house's annoyance. I'm coming back. I only spent a night there, but it rubbed off. Tiny little bits of Glaswegian are popping in every now and again. Now we want to slot that in as opposed to popping it in. There we go for you. Was I a dumbass and clipped both of them out? Yes, I was, which means I should have another one on here somewhere. There it is. A tiny little splodule of glue. Tiny splodule of glue. Where could that be coming from? It could be coming from a PC screaming at me. I'm going, what are you doing? You know I can't do these. It does like to do that sometimes. If you need glasses, how do you find an optician? Depending what degree you need glasses to. If it's like me, where it's not actually that bad and you can still see with or without glasses, really, then you look for the shop. I know that sounds stupidly simple, but it is that simple. If, however, you like sparkles and you can't see worth a shit without your glasses, then you have to get somebody else to go do it for you. Oh, Sparkles may be watching this, so I am sorry, Sparkles. I've just told everyone that you're damn near blind. But I'm sorry, but you are. There's no denying it. There's no getting away from it. So once I have done, that's one of each leg. I need to do the other of each leg now. Which is again 7, 9, 8, 10. Woo! So, get snips the right way around first, you absolute buffoon. Meeting time. No worries, Graham. Good luck with your meeting. Hopefully it's not boring and you can stay awake through it all and hopefully answer some decent questions. If not, and you're not really needed, just pop a screenshot of you awake up on the screen and go have a nap. And hopefully don't ask you a question. Or nothing important comes up. You might want to screen grab it, just in case. We notice the horseshoe shapy bit that we need to glue. And then that goes on like so. Is that the right way around? Yes, that's the right way around. Is it? Wasn't it? Isn't it? Wasn't it? Yes. Yes. Do you know the best way to actually tell if I've got it the right way around is to look at the other one? Yeah, I did. That's good. So does anyone have anything nice planned for the rest of the day? I know I'm essentially taking up off what Steve's doing and I'm going to be cleaning and tidying and dishes and things. Household stuff. And the Magical World will be back on Thursday rather than last week when I did it. I did a double stream in one day because I had to. Didn't have much of a choice in that one. I had to double stream it because I had to be up at stupid o'clock in the morning to go get a train to Scotland last week. Whereas this week, not so much. I don't have to be up at stupid o'clock on Friday morning, so I'm not that I'm aware of. Sparkles hasn't told me anything that I need to be up for. So this week should just be a normal week. In theory. Also taking a little bit of advice from Buzzard regarding how I conduct myself on stream. So as you notice, we've got like near enough an hour in and I don't think I've swore yet. I don't think I have. It's a possibility it might have just popped out and I've not been aware of it. But I don't think I've swore yet. Which for me is a big deal. I usually swear quite a lot. And because I can't, I'm going to encourage my moderators to, if you get one of them people that come in, and you know which type I mean, then please feel free to let rip. That was a rhetorical question. Yeah, I don't do rhetorical because my brain thinks of answers for questions, especially rhetorical ones. I don't do rhetorical questions very well. So did you genuinely just have an answer for that? So yeah. So you're not supposed to have an answer for that. Yeah, well, I did. There we go. And now spodgy bit into there and we know they don't go in at a straight angle, so if they go in at a slightly crookedy angle. And I've just put that on the wrong way around. Supposed to be the light first. Yeah. Yeah, the light's supposed to be going at the flat bit. So something like that. So the light is at the front of where the flat thing is and the light goes forward. Now, it should be 2 legs for each of the bikes that we've just done. That's just done all the way down. All the way down to that. So, section 5 now. Now this is going to ask us to glue the rider's body onto their bike before you attach the handlebars. Which means we've got to do 51, 52 and 50 first. Glue him into the bike seat. Do 26 to 55 and then glue that on. Right. Sorry, let me just silence that for a moment. Calls will not vibrate, thank you. Thank you very much, Buzzard. I'm not sure what it is. If it is the lead, then I'll try and change it after the stream. Because the lead is very, very well attached to, well, everything now. So I will have to have a look into the lead. But before I do that, I need to find 50 and 51. Oh, sorry, 50, 51 and 52, which is 50, 51 and 52. Now, it's not giving me a FOD, or a head, if you want to call it by the more commonly known term. It's not told me to put a head on yet. I'm assuming that means I can put whatever kind of head I want on it. Usually does. Let's clip out the halves of his body and glue them together first, like it says in the instructions down here, which is the bit that the light's not letting me see. There we go. That bit there. Clip the two bits of body together. And I'm sorry for those on portrait mode who it just happens to be covered by the chat at that moment. So I'll pick it up in a second and show you the bit that I'm doing. So I can bring it more into line. So next bit is to put the two body pieces together. Now this is just a flat, straight, oh dear. Yeah, a flat, straight oh dear is what it is. He's going to rely on part number 50 to hold it together properly. Because there is no divots or anything to kind of clip it to or hold it in place. Which is not fun. Well, that says that part should be 50. Not 56. Not 57. 50. There we go. We do have a 50. It's there. I was getting worried for a moment. Good morning, D. Good morning. How's you doing, mate? Is it a full unit you're going to be painting today, or just a character model and half a unit? Because who are we kidding? You won't call it quits at just one model. Not a chance. You'll do one model, then a unit, then another model. Then by the end of the year, you've got about 600 done. As I know you're right up to getting the 500 mark. You're bang on target for that, as far as I know. Which is an amazing feat in and of itself. And you are also steaming ahead to possibly even beat your... Alright, cool, so you're finishing the last two units. The 2 units. See, I told you it wouldn't just be one, would it? Finishing the 2 units you started yesterday. I'm lucky if I can get half a unit done in a week. And you're pumping them out like the... Yeah. You're on only 395. You do realise that most of us will probably never get that amount painted in our lives. I'll say that I'm probably well above that amount painted myself, but that's over a period of time, not in a year. Before anyone thinks, oh well, Laz says he could. No, Laz doesn't say he can do that. Laz cannot do that. D puts him to shame. And if everyone's wondering why I call Anthony D, then please join the Discord server and all will be revealed. All will be revealed. See, now it's not told me to glue the fucking legs on yet, but it showed me a picture down here with the legs on but when it's telling me to glue it here, right, this is annoying. Shows me this picture here and it's got the back booster things on, but it shows me this picture here and it doesn't have the back booster things on. Make up your bloody mind, will you? Right, 26 and 55. 55 is that's 47. That's 47, that is not the right one. 55, yes, we have a 55. Which is nice up here. Now we just need to find a 26, which is down here. We might actually be able to get one full model done. At least one full model done. Now I know normally I wait until I get all the sprues so I can guarantee getting the models done, but this time, because I missed out on that Hernkyn or whatever they're called, I can't remember the name of them. Since I missed out on those last time, I'm trying to get what I can done now. That way it's done. And if I do end up missing next week's issue, it's not as bad. I've gone through some of the building. Ooh, witches and cabalites. Very torturous. Lots of spindly little arms. And Eldari legs. And annoying little bits that just don't go where you want them to. Even though the instructions said it should fit nice and snugly. No. They don't fit nice and snugly. I've seen them. I've put Eldar and Dark Eldar together and they're a pain in the ass. To say it nicely. And not use too bad swear words to describe that. Okay, now we need to get the handlebars in place along with his shoulder. Now this is the fiddly bit, people. This is the fiddly bit. There we go. We got it. We got it. We got one of the kin on his bike. Hang about, is this going to make us make most of the big one? but without having the big gun. It is, isn't it? This is going to have us making most of the big one without having the big gun. Well, that just ain't adding up. That just ain't fucking... No. That ain't cricket. Haha, we don't have to do the one with the big gun. We can move on and skirt around the one with the big gun. So now we've got to this section. We've done that bit. We've done that bit. So if we're going off that, so we've done this section here, and we're about to move back to this section for the other one. Well, first we need to finish this guy off. So we've done the handlebar and put the guy on. Now we need to get either parts 27, 28, 29 and 30 or 31 and 32. Why do they have to give us options like this? And on the top we need 35 or 36. Now they look like some kind of roll bar-y thing. There we go, got 36 there. We've got 35 anywhere. Go on, gives a 35. We have a 37. It looks very similar to a 35. But is it going to make us put the 37 on the other one? No. No, it's not going to make us put the 37 on the other one. Then what's the bloody point in the 37? I really don't see what the point in the 37 is. I am struggling to find out what the 37 is supposed to be for. But because I don't have 35 by the looks of it. Oh no, that's 35. And 36. Right, no, I found them both. Because I'm daft. You're going to look into doing new techniques next year, D. I see the word glazing in there. I see glazing. Oh, no. No. Coloured water. That is not fun. Now we need a... What goes with 30? A 29 goes with 30. There's a 28, there's a 32. There's a 19. That's 37. Don't go telling me that after all this, I don't have that bit of a section. Right, so I have 28, 30 and 32. What I'm missing is 27, 29 and 31. And you're thinking, how bad is it really to be missing those pieces? Well, they all go together to make this section here, which will be a back rack, which goes on the back here. Now I can glue the roll bar section on, but I can't do any of the backpack things. Not a single one. Not a zip, because I don't have the base sections. I should be able to do everything else by the looks of it. So there goes the roll bar antenna bit. That's that fine. I can't do the... Oh, no, I can't. I need... Oh, you are joking me. Right. So going off the look of these, there is going to be a circle that goes in there. That is attached to the base sections, which I currently don't have, and we will be receiving next week. So that's pretty much as far as you can get with this issue to build them up. So let's pop him down over there, as well as him and all the other pieces that are not going to be able to be done until next week, because we don't have any of the... It is these 27, 29 and 31. We have none of them. Not a dicky bird. We have the panel. We have the things to go in the fronts, like the bed rolls and the packs like that. We have the heads. We have the arms for the weapons. So I could stick a shotgun on one and a pistol on another. And in fact, do I have 2 shotguns? No, but I do have 2 pistols. So I can give this dude the shotgun if I wished. I will make that choice once I have more parts available to make that choice. So that's about as far as you get. You get to put the man on. You get to put most of the bike together, and then you have to stop and wait for next week because you need 1 piece, 3 pieces specifically from that sprue. Yay! The joys. So we will continue doing that next week, because I can't fucking carry on if I don't have the bits. I don't like it when they do that to me. I really don't. But there's nothing I can do now apart from read. Read. So now we have Kin Society. So put away your clippers and your glue now, people. And we're going to do some reading. The Leagues of Votan are an ancient civilization whose complex traditions frequently confound those outsiders who learn anything about them at all. But as far as the kin are concerned, their society is the height of efficiency and good sense. A tried and tested machine that works to ensure their survival in a galaxy at war. Well, it ain't broke. Don't fix it. Okay. The traditionalist mindset of the kin influences not just their technology, but their very structure of their society, which has remained practically unchanged since time immemorial. The kin prize community above all else, and their natural instincts to pull together has seen their society gradually accumulate into a complex system of overlapping and interlocking groups. The most important of which are kindred, guilds, and leagues, whether based on a shared genetic heritage, a craft in common, or the veneration of the same Votan. These associations give structure and meaning to the lives of their members. Each kin has their allocated place within the group, and while it may appear rigid to others, to the kin, this is a reassuringly straightforward design for a society in an unforgiving galaxy. In all of these groups, certain rights are afforded to each kin to have their voice heard in councils of their leaders. Most citizens of the Imperium could never dream of having such rights, and therein lies one of the biggest differences between kin and human society. All kin, including the mechanical iron kin, are afforded a certain level of respect as members of society no matter their station. So what's an iron kin? Iron kin, created by the Votan to labour alongside the kin. These advanced constructs possess incredible cognitional power. They've got AIs. They got dirty AIs, haven't they? That's what they've got. Abominable intelligences. So we'll get to find out now about the kindreds, the guilds, and the leagues. We'll start with the kindreds. Kindreds are the most fundamental units of kin society, and the closest thing their clone species has to families, ranging from a few dozen individuals to many thousands. Each kindred is built on a foundation of shared technology, which they refer to as their 4 pillars. The crucible that gave them life, the forge where they craft their gear, the fane where the Grimnir commune with the Votan, and the hearth burning at the heart of their holds. So, space dwarves. Yep, that's pretty much clarified it. Space dwarves. Guilds. For every occupation a kin can hold, there is a guild. An association of those kin who practice the same trade or craft in a given region of kin space, overseen by calculating guild masters. These organisations hold their members to exacting standards and levy tithes of their profits, or from their profits, but also ensure that their voices are heard at gatherings of the kindred. Some guilds, like those of the Chthonian miners, have existed for as long as the kin have roamed the void and hold considerable political power. Yeah, filthy dwarves. Filthy dwarves. Don't like, well, I do quite like dwarves, but that's something different. Why have I got a... Ah, right, okay. I know what that is. That's fine. Finally, we have the leagues. Let's try not covering it with my thumb this time, eh? In the ancient days when the kin took to the stars, they formed coalitions around their ancestor cores in order to protect them. In time, these alliances developed into spacefaring nations known today as leagues. Each league consists of multiple kindreds who share the same heraldry, philosophy, and methods of war, as well as the same ancestor cores that guide them to this day. So not only are they dwarves, they're petri dish dwarves. That's probably not what the way they want me to describe them. But yeah, petri dish dwarves. Vat grown. Probably why they're stunted, isn't it? They've not got big enough vats. But then we take a stupid leap. We go from the Leagues of Votan, and then we jump into Orc clans. I like Orc clans. Orcs are definitely my favourite Xenos race, by far. The Goths may be the biggest and meanest, but they are far from the only Orc clan to terrorise the galaxy. Each clan has its own customs, including its own particular way of waging war. Some strange and surprising, but each and every one a deadly threat to contend with on the battlefield. Oh boy, are they! They are nuts. Imperial propaganda paints the Orcs as a horde of indistinguishable brutes, whose simple minds can barely comprehend any thought more complex than war. No, they're kind of right on that. As such, the idea that they could have any kind of culture is ridiculous to most Imperial citizens. This is a comforting story, and not all that far from the truth. But the reality is much more complicated. Yes, it is. Anyone who has made a study of the Orcs, either from the safety of a sanctioned librarium or up close on 100 battlefields, will sooner or later begin to discern certain traits that will mark out one group of orcs from another, whether it be the shared physical characteristics or a predilection or a penchant for a particular colour. These figures are often signs of an orc's membership to a large but identifiable groups called clans, rather than bonds of friendships, a concept that would be as alien to the orcs as a peace treaty or good hygiene. These clans are held together by the iron will of their bosses, the shared traits and inclinations of their members, including, most importantly, the way they make war. And they do. Now this is quite interesting for me because I'm not sure which. Originally I was going to go with Death Skulls, but I've done a whole load of blue on my Space Marines, so I'm not sure what to do with my orcs. But we'll start with Death Skulls. On to the description. The Death Skulls have a nasty reputation as a bunch of no good thieves and sneaky gits. Any Death Skull worth their salt always keeps one beady eye open for useful gubbins they can lift from unsuspecting owners. These unscrupulous scavengers aren't picky and will steal from just about anyone with gear worth having, including other orcs, or even fellow Death Skulls. All this thieving is a dangerous business, which is why orcs of this clan favour the lucky colour blue. Their infamous band of looters will slap this colour on all their war gear in the hope that it will help them find even more loot, and to avoid the wrath of the previous owners as well. So basically, yeah, they're the scallies of the orcs. They'll nick out I ain't nailed down, and yeah. I'm trying to catch what Steve said there. It could be test tube dwarfs, but test tubes are usually taller than petri dishes. And no, the dwarfs don't have sheep. They've not cloned them. They didn't clone the sheep. What am I up to? I've forgotten now. You distracted me with talk of cloned sheep. Evil Sons, that's what we're up to. Orcs of the Evil Sons clans share a need for speed that borders on an addiction. The aptly named speed freaks of their war bands are never truly happy unless they're hurtling forward at the controls of some dangerously unstable contraption. Whether it's in a battle or a breakneck race with their equally deranged mates. Bikes, trikes, trucks, battle wagons, Dakar jets, whatever it is. An orc of the Evil Sons will pack it with as much horsepower and firepower as they can before riding it gleefully into battle. The most important of all these additions is a liberal coat of red paint, because every orc knows that red wounds go faster, or in English, red makes it go fast. That is within the lore of 40k is strange how that works, because it is interpreted in the rules. Orcs from the Evil Sons are faster than all the other orcs, even if they use the same thing. So if you get a bike and paint it for a goth army, and you get the bikes and paint them for the Evil Sons army, Evil Sons will move faster because they are painted red. As daft as it sounds, it fucking works. Oh, you give all your death skulls a wasty. No. I'm only saying that because they didn't get sent to me. 25k of orcs. 25k of orcs. Then I could actually rival my Space Marines. I can actually do Orcs versus Space Marines full scale battle. It'll be awesome. I mean, it'll take me a month and a half, but it'll do it. My Orc name is Lasgull Thwacker, and I am a war boss in Nemesis Dread Knight armor and two hammers. Yeah, here he is. I think you remember him, don't you? You've seen him. That's me as an Orc. Oh, that's where he went. Right, okay, that needs to go back over there. That's where that needs to go. But yeah, that will be me as an Orc. Two big whacking hammers. No, I have not, Steve, and there is a reason why I've never seen a purple Orc. Because purple is for stealth. They is the stealthiest of Orcs. But we'll never get onto the purple Orcs, because no one's ever seen a purple Orc. They are that good at stealth. They have, however, seen the Bad Moons. Bad Moons, yeah, they're the closest thing you'll get to humans in an Orc society. Trade between Orcs is based on exchange of teeth, or teeth, as the Orcs call them, which makes having fast-growing fangs an economic advantage. This is the blessing shared by the Orcs of the Bad Moons clan, whose plentiful teeth make them extraordinarily wealthy. They never miss an opportunity to show off, buying the snazziest war gear and daubing it with yellow, the most ostentatious colour by Orc standards. In battle, the Bad Moons generally prefer to let their Daka do the talking. Lurking in the back lines, they unleash hails of fire with all manner of flashy weaponry, none more extravagant than their teeming batteries of mega cannons, smasher guns, and bubble chuckers. Blood axes? Are we going to cover blood axes? We will cover blood axes. So, see, I say they're more humans because they're the ones that are basically show-offs and like to flaunt their stuff. But we'll get to blood axes and we'll see which one's better. We'll see which one's closer. Before we get to them, though, we get to the snake bites. For the Orcs of the Snakebite clan, even the shootiest shooter or the snazziest war machine can't compare to a nice sharp chopper and a faithful squid companion. These surly gits favour the old ways and share a suspicion of anything they consider needlessly fiddly or newfangled. Instead, they favour simple brutality, and Orcs of this clan grow to be particularly tough in order to dish out violence on a very close and personal basis. Some enemies even mistake snakebites straightforwardness for stupidity, but they soon learn the error when their battle lines are torn apart by rampaging beast snaggers riding a cavalcade of ravening squid beasts. Snakebites are probably my least favourite out of them all, but I like lore-wise, but I like the models. I would like a set of the what are they called? Beast snaggers. The ones riding on the squig hogs. I wouldn't mind a unit of those, just to help me steam forward a little bit. Sorry, just hit the microphone there. That probably came through louder than it should have. As Francois mentioned, we do also have the blood axes. Now, Francois said these ones are the more humany ones. They might be the more imperial ones, the more imperial guardy ones, but yeah. Blood axes. Most Orcs prefer their battle plans to be no more complex than running straight at the enemy, hollering and firing their shooters. However, the blood axes are possessed of a knack for strategy that surprises their foes almost as often as it baffles the Orcs of other clans. Particularly cunning blood axe bosses will observe the tactics of their enemies and copy them in their own Orcish way, laying ambushes, attacking weak points, and disrupting supply lines. Some have even been known to adopt elements of Imperial military dress. Their deadly commando teams are much feared, not only for their sheer brutality, but also their surprising sneakiness. But that's just not Orky. That's not Orky. Nope. That's not Orky. Very Imperial. Very Imperial. But not every human is Imperial, or part of the Astra Militarum. All of them, however, like to show off and like sparkly things. So I'm sticking with the other ones. However, I do understand why you say Blood Axes, because tacticians, yeah, that's quite guardy. And Space Marine, they do like the tactics. But yeah, Goths are your Ultramarine equivalent. I think I'll be going Evil Sons. In fairness, I don't have a red army, so I think I'll be going Evil Sons when I paint my orcs up in just over a week. I'm going to start my stomper. Is it lastly? Yes, it is lastly. Lastly, we have the Freebooters. Not so much a true clan as a ragtag coalition of outcasts, weirdos, and downright nasty gits. The Freebooters sail the void in fleets of scrap metal battleships, looting, raiding, and pillaging as they please. Living on the fringes of orc society, and often being naturally more self-interested than their clan-bound cousins. This makes the Freebooters a mercenary bunch who sell their services to the highest bidder from amongst the other clans. Though they invariably drive a hard bargain, it is usually worth it to gain the support of their gaudily attired and frighteningly well-armed flashgits, who spend their hard-earned teeth on heavily customised snaz guns. Fantastic unit. Really good unit. Shame it's tied to the Freebooters, but you can use them in any orc army, and flashgits are probably one of the most stable shooting units you can get for orcs. And I know that's a bit of a contradiction because orcs can't shoot worth a shit, but they get enough shots to make up for it. So flashgits, nice. Looters, nice as well for shooting. Anything else, run up and hit it. So that will be our clans for the orcs. Finished. Freebooters being the last one. Snakebikes, Blood Axes, Bad Moons, Death Skulls, Evil Sons, and Goths being the general overall one. So any unit can be done. Goths are just black with white checks and daggers and stuff. Quite a not bland army and colour scheme, but certainly a basic one as far as the orcs are concerned. And now we're on for the collect section, the collect part. So this is the collect part F Leagues of Votan 05, and this is going to tell us about our Hernkyn Pioneers. Hernkyn Pioneers serve a vital role for their kindred, leaving the safety of their holds for years at a time to scout far-flung worlds for resources. They also provide advance warning of threats to their fellow kin, and when battle is joined, their maneuverable bikes and panoply of weapons make them a deadly flanking force. So to find out what the clan is going to be, again they're going to ask us to roll dice, and I know I have dice on here somewhere because I have my Rogue's Den dice. So, a 1 or a 2, these Hernkyn Pioneers are consistently tinkering with their Magna Coil bikes between missions in order to ensure optimum performance. A 3 or a 4, these Hernkyn Pioneers keep careful tallies of their kills as they compete amongst themselves to see who can dispatch the most enemies. A 5 or a 6, these Hernkyn Pioneers have explored dozens of alien environments and are experts in navigating all manner of difficult terrain. So which ones are ours that are, well, mine that aren't even built yet? 4. Sorry, just bear with me one moment, please. I'm appear to be getting a... Well, apparently they didn't want to talk to me. Oh well. And I don't know what the number is. So, yeah. We'll put that back there. And... oh well. So mine are 3 and 4. They like to kill things and keep tallies amongst themselves to see who has dispatched the most enemies. Nice. Let's hope they actually perform like that if you ever get a chance to use them. Let's hope they can mow things down quite easily and efficiently. Let's have a look at the data sheet of a Hernkyn Pioneer. Now, obviously with them being on bikes, they're going to be a fast unit. So 12-inch movement, not bad at all. Toughness 6. Wow, really? That's pretty good. 4+ save is average. Most things have a 4+. 3 wounds each. Holy sh! That's a lot on a toughness 6, especially for a small little skirmishing unit. Leadership 7, so battle shock is possible, and an OC of 2. So that means if there's 3 of them, they've got an OC of 6. So they're able to bully smaller units off objectives. What else do they get? So they get, as far as weapons go, they get a bolt revolver, 9-inch range, 1 attack, hitting on 4, strength 5, no AP and 1 damage. Or a bolt shotgun, which has the assault keyword, range 12, 2 attacks. Everything else is the same as the bolt revolver, hits on 4, strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. Now, I'm gonna guess that the... see, now the bike itself does actually have a gun. I'm not sure if that's going to be the high-las rotary cannon with sustained hits 1. I think that's going to be the big thing on the back of one of them. Now that's 24-inch range, 6 attacks, still hitting on 4s. Strength 6, so it is hitting a little bit harder. -1 AP and 1 damage. Not bad for clearing infantry, along with everything else that you've got on there. Or you can have a Magna Coil autocannon. 24-inch range again, so it's definitely one of the bigger weapons. So I'm guessing that's going to be an option for the back of the third one, if we can go on to it. So it's going to be an option for the back of this one up here, I think. So you're going to get to choose between either a high-las or a Magna Coil. So the Magna Coil autocannon, 24-inch range, only 3 attacks, so it's half the attacks of a rotary cannon. Hitting on 4s again, which seems to be straight across the board for these. Goes up against strength 7, so it's, again, that little pip of extra strength is pushing you that to make it a little bit easier to wound some of the more elite infantries. AP -1 is not bad, but it's not hitting through hard armor. It's not making much of a difference to Terminators. Damage 2, however, means it's popping a standard Space Marine with everyone. Out of the two, our high-las or a rotary cannon or a Magna Coil autocannon, I'd go for the Magna Coil just for that extra bit of damage going through. In melee, they have a plasma knife. For a plasma knife, it has no AP. That doesn't make sense to me. But 2 attacks, hitting on 4s at strength 4 and 1 damage. So, 2 attacks with a standard close combat weapon. Now they do have some special rules. They have scouts 9 inches, so at the start of the actual game, they get to do a single movement of up to 9 inches, as long as they stay 9 inches away from any enemies and the enemy deployment zone, and they get to move a little bit further out into the field early on. so they're ready for either an alpha strike or getting in there quick and skirting round. They also have a rule called outflanking mag riders. At the end of your opponent's turn, excluding the first, if this unit is within 6 inches of any battlefield edge and is not in engagement range with an enemy unit, you can remove this unit from the battlefield and place it in reserves. In the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, set it up wholly within 6 inches of any battlefield edge, excluding your opponent's, and more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. So, you've got the board, and enemies down here, you're up there. If they're near any of these, they can pop off, and the next turn they could either pop on this side, or pop back on this side, or come on at your edge if they've dropped something down. The one place they can't come back on is your opponent's main battlefield edge. Which makes sense, because otherwise at the end of turn 1, well, the end of your opponent's second movement phase, you can jump them off and then bring them on behind, which is a little bit too overpowered, especially that early in the game. So that brings us to the end of the datasheet section of the League of Votann. We're now on to the playing sections. Now we know we have 3 play sections in this. We have Chaos Space Marines against normal Space Marines, Eldari and Tyranids. Now each one seems to have a different setup, which is strange. So for the first one, Chaos Space Marines versus Standard Space Marines. It's asking you to do a Scorched Earth as your mission. To play the scenario in this article, you will need the Combat Patrol mission section called Scorched Earth, which is part of your collection at G. Core mission is number 4, and Space Marines are the defending player. From there, it's telling you how to load out your deployment zone. So Space Marines are over here, Chaos Space Marines are down here, and this being the centre of the board. Now 6 inches up and down from the very centre, in no man's land, you will place 1 objective marker. Now this is where it gets real pain in the ass. What it wants to do then is 10 inches from the centre, come towards the attacker's deployment zone. Then move 4 inches up away from it and place another objective marker. And same again when you come to defenders, 10 inches from the centre, then 4 inches down, place 4th objective marker. You play through the mission, which in this case is Scorched Earth. The Chaos Space Marines have been sent to the area by their masters to sow terror amongst the inhabitants of the system and to take strategic positions for the next step of their campaign. They take pleasure in attacking and burning worlds for sport, but they also take a keen interest in the whereabouts of their enemies. Whenever they can see that a foe is gaining some advantage, no time is lost in trying to take it from them. Meanwhile, the Space Marines continue their search for any ancient technology that might aid the Imperium in any of their many campaigns across the galaxy. The Space Marines are attached to a wider force of scouting parties, acting as their escorts and their security, but they are spread thin and must react whenever the situation changes. The situation is volatile, and at any moment they might be called upon to another deadly mission. So running through how they want you to do this. If the Chaos Marines win this fight, they move on to the next fight of the campaign, if you are running a campaign. If you are not, then they just win the fight. Hooray! If you are running on a campaign, we'll move on to the next one, which is where the Chaos Space Marines face the Tyranids. Now, when they face the Tyranids in this mission, they want you to use Sweeping Raid, which is core mission number 5. And again, the Tyranid is the defending player. Again, this is just an absolute... I don't know what they're doing with the objectives in this one. But there are lots of... Okay, so from the centre to the... It's 12 inches to the front of each deployment zone. That's easy. We can figure that out. So objective A goes in the attacker's deployment zone Now you come 16 inches from the centre line and then drop 6 inches down and put objective marker A. Objective marker B is the mirror for the defenders, so you come 16 across and 6 up, place one there. Now you come 3 inches across on each one and 9 inches in the opposite, so up and 3 inches across to place objective marker. Oh, that's B and that's D, sorry. So A, B, C, D. And C is the 8 inches down and 3 inches away from the centre line, again vertically. So there's quite a distance between some of the objective markers. In this case, the Chaos Space Marines have entered the system aiming to bring terror to its inhabitants. They take That's the same as what we've just done a minute ago. Meanwhile, the Tyrannids continue to advance through the system, destroying and consuming as they go. The strategies of the alien hive mind are inscrutable to all, but one thing is certain. Whatever it is they are doing does not bode well for anyone caught in their path. Few of the other factions can resist them for even a single battle, but even those who survive may yet fall prey to the unstoppable onslaught of the ravenous Great Devourer. Also be mission 2. If you were to win with the Chaos Space Marines again, you are doing exceptionally well on your campaign front. If you were to get defeated by the Tyrannids, then the Tyrannids are doing very well. Or it might be their first win and they've got to continue on from there. The third mission, which is going to be Display of Might, Core Mission 6, is going to be against the Eldari. Fair enough. Now in this one, the Eldari look like they are the attackers and the Chaos Space Marines are the defenders. So the Eldari have moved into the area to search for the traces of the Lost Ranger party again. If they find them alive and retrieve their spirit stones if they have fallen. They have the trail, but they must proceed cautiously. They do not have the numbers to lose even more troops on speculative missions. And if more of them fall, yet more Eldari lives will need to be risked to rescue their lost spirit stones too. And the Chaos Space Marines are just there to spread just terror and have a good time in their own way. So Display of Might is Core Mission 6. Now this one's quite simple. From the centre point of the map, there is an objective marker 14 inches away, so it's 2 inches into the defenders' deployment zone and 2 inches into the attackers' deployment zone. Each one gets one. And then going up and down, there is another objective marker 8 inches from the centre point up and 8 inches from the centre point down. So still only 4 objective markers. Again, you can usually score about 10 victory points per round. So that's 5 for having 1 objective marker. This will go for most of the games. And an additional 5 for having more than your opponent. Doesn't matter how many more as long as you've got more. Again, if the Chaos win, they have won a resounding victory. They have won for their campaign. They have laid waste to the sector. They have caused fear and terror amongst its citizens, and they have dispatched any opposing force that has come to stop them. Which is a campaign victory, campaign wins for the Chaos Marines if they was to win all 3 of these battles. Now you will use all 3 full combat patrols as they're available to you. And you will be playing with full rules, so you'll be using Eldari Fate Dice, you will be using the Chaos Icons and the boons from the Chaos Gods. You will get stratagems such as the Command Reroll stratagem, or I've got a big stack of cards up here with all this on. I mean a huge stack of cards up here. That's the Leagues of Votan one, I don't want that one. Ah, there we go. So you get to use the enhancements. So either the Hateful Exhaustion. At the start of the first battle round, select one enemy unit until the end of the battle. Each time a model in the Berries unit makes an attack that targets the enemy unit on a critical wound, improve the AP characteristic by 1. Or you can change it out for the Infernal Blessing, which gives your commander a 5+ Feel No Pain. As well as the Shadow in the Warp if you are using Tyranids, the Oath of Moment if you're using the standard Space Marines. You get to use full rules in these missions, all 3 of them, because you'll be using the full combat patrol, which I currently have put away in boxes at the moment, otherwise I might have pulled them out. And please, if you are getting this, please play through these missions, especially if you're new to the hobby. These missions are a nice little way to get you running through small skirmished games before you start moving up into 1,000 points, 1,500 points, 2,000 point battles. Because if you go straight for the 2,000 point, it can take you a while. It'll take you a while just going through each stage, making sure you don't miss any rules and you don't overlook anything. These keep it nice and simple, especially with those reference cards. So we know what we're getting next week. Now that we've come to the end of the magazine, next week we're getting the final sprue for the Hernkyn Pioneers. After that, however, it is another 2-parter. Oh, the joys. So, issue 56, 1 sprue. We're learning about kin hosts, and we're going to do Space Marines versus Orcs. Ooh, that's nice to know. Space Marines versus Orcs. Now, with my glasses on, I can actually read what's going on down here on these little ones. So, 57 and 58, we'll get part 1 and part 2 of the Chthonian Berserkers. In 57, we will go through the Kronos Hegemony and learn about light vehicles. And in 58, we will learn about the League territories and campaign continued. So there's lots and lots and lots to look forward to becoming, as best, not just model wise, but mission wise, as well as lore wise. There's quite a few. It's quite nice. But with that, that is the end of this issue. Now, I am a little bit gutted that I didn't get to make a full model, but I'll get to finish them all next week. I'll just make sure I put them somewhere safe so I don't lose them. But until, that's me done for today. So hopefully I get to see everyone tomorrow at 9:30 PM my time. Bear in mind it is now nearly midday my time, so if you a little bit of mental calculation, about 9.5 hours later than what it is now, whatever your time is. And that is tomorrow night. I'll be doing the Magical World of Sparkle and Oak. As Ali put into the portrait comments, 9:30 on Mondays is also when I do models and musings, when I cover most of my 40k painting, building, modelling. Thursday nights are my D&D nights for my little, I say little, it's taking me ages and it's going to take me a lot longer so far. But yes, I look forward to seeing you all then, if you can make it. If not, I'll see you next week on the Wednesday. Please